Slaves to the Puppeteer. We always play local bands because we think there's enough local talents out there that don't get exposure to media. You listen to other radio stations, you just play the charts, and I don't know who half these people are that they play. Ed Sheeran and the dodgy geezer or whatever, I don't know. So you can listen to local bands. If you are in a local band and you would like a little bit of exposure, either by sending us some tracks or sending us some links to tracks which we can download, you're quite welcome to contact me. And my email address is steve at steve at l-c-r.co.uk. That's steve at l-c-r.co.uk. Give us a link to your SoundCloud account or Bandcamp or whatever you use, and we'll put you in our playlist. But even better if you come in the studio and play live for us, so there'll be opportunities during the next season to get as many local artists in and local bands in to come in and do a little acoustic set. We've got a guy called Ben Burke, came in last Friday, and he's coming in again tomorrow to do a couple of his songs. He does cover versions, but also he's a great songwriter and performer. He also runs our guitar group on a Wednesday. So if you're interested in learning how to play the guitar, come down to us on a Wednesday night about 6 o'clock and find out all about it. It's quite cheap. It's only £2 a session. We got spare guitars, so if you haven't got your own guitar, you can borrow one of ours for the session. You can even borrow it to take it home and practice. So there's lots going on. I'll talk a little bit about what's going on today in the Croissant and tonight in the Croissant later on. So let's move swiftly on to the newspapers. My voice is gradually growing. It is now. I'm going to have to have a drink in a second. So we're looking at the front page of the Echo. It's still 5 pence off a litre. I must find out how to do that. Front page headline is £100 million in unpaid council tax. Authority says it's still chasing years of arrears. And where are we? So let's go and find out a little bit about that. Yeah. So we're on page 5. Apparently the Liverpool City Council, cash-strapped Liverpool City Council is still owed nearly £100 million in unpaid council tax. Shock new figures show. The amount of cash owed to the authority includes £10.8 million of arrears relating to 2017-2018. So most of that £100 million, the other £90 million, that is historic stuff. So it's long-standing, and sometimes they seem to be chasing the wrong people for the money. I think I know a few people have been chased for money that it turns out they didn't know in the end. So I think people would be more willing to cough up the council tax. Maybe if there was a little bit of a reward for paying up, maybe some sort of deduction. Maybe put your name into a lottery and win free council tax for the following year if you pay up front. Let's go on to page 7. There's always bad news in the Echo. We'll try and keep to some good news, but this is one I feel a little bit about, really. There's a young boy, age 3, critical after car knocks him down. This is in Birkenhead, a young child of 3 knocked down. Don't know the details of it, but I don't know about you, but I walk, ride bikes, and also drive around the city. And there's a lot of people driving far too fast. You know, in the city, you either seem to be stuck in a traffic jam for like half an hour. And if you've ever been on Edge Lane, going out to town at tea time or in the morning, you know what I mean. And then when people get a little chance to move, they'll not just drive at a normal speed, they'll go much faster. And hello, Toba. I've got laryngitis, Toba. Toba, my assistant's just walked in. She's walking over to the chair. She's laughing at me. She's a very cruel person. I'm going to dock her pay for laughing at me. If you bother to pay her, that is. So they have got the driver. It's not a hit and run, which is one thing. So they can actually look at, you know, what the circumstances were about it and get the driver's unit. But there's a lot of hit and runs, isn't there? People get knocked down and then they're off like a shot. Okay, so big news yesterday was Channel 4 bosses looking to relocate their headquarters outside London were treated to a spectacular helicopter ride during the fact-finding visits. So Channel 4 have been told or asked by the government to diversify where they have their headquarters, so they're looking to move it somewhere else. And obviously Liverpool's got a certain amount of kudos in the film world, because they, people come here to make films using our streets and locations, and we're allegedly going to get a £50 million Hollywood standard filming complex across the road to where I live. I do have any reservations about that. So they were all here yesterday, they were all looking around, and we got a bit of a track record with Channel 5 as well, because if you remember, Brookside was made, Phil Redmond made Brookside on Merseyside. It was quite unique at the time, because he used real houses, it wasn't a film set. It'd be interesting to see whether they make the mind. So Channel 4 is expected to reveal which city is to become its new home. If you don't know about Channel 4, you do know about Channel 4, because it's Channel 4, isn't it? But Channel 4 is a commissioning agency. It doesn't actually make any of the programmes itself. So what it does is that people go to Channel 4 with ideas, and if they like the ideas, they will pay for it. So Channel 4 is not like your standard television station. It doesn't actually have a television studio. It doesn't have buys its news in, buys all its programmes in. So it's not actually going to mean there's going to be loads of television programmes made in Liverpool, but it might do. Okay, so moving on to page 12. I might this the last one, so we can have a drink, because my voice is gradually disappearing into my boots. Tunnel tolls bring in an extra 1.8 million. The Mersey tunnels made nearly £2 million last year, raising questions over why a recent price hike needed to be made. So the prices went up. I went over the water one night, I think it was £1.30, and the next night I went over and it was £1.40. I had only taken enough out for the previous toll, which is quite embarrassing. So we had to scour my car. It's at this point I found out that the tunnel toll machines don't take 2p pieces, because all I found was a pile of 2p pieces. So I had to. I did manage to find a 10p piece in the end, but it was almost slightly embarrassing, because there was a big queue building up. I thought I was going to have to back out. But it'd be interesting to know what your views are on tunnel tolls, because the tunnels have been there one from the 1970s and one from the 1930s, and presumably it's been paid for by now. So why are we still paying it? And it's like you can't cross the river now without having to dip your hand in your pocket. If you go over in Runcorn Witness, the new bridge, I'm not even sure how much it is, but I deliberately drive around it so I don't have to pay it. I don't really want to have to go through all that rigmarole of registering online and all that. Anyway, I'll stop now while I've still got some sort of a voice and try and revive myself. Okay, this interesting track was handed the CD last week by one of our volunteers, Paul Quirk, who he's one of our long-standing volunteers. He's been around for about 2 years in the cafe. He's a lovely bloke. He admitted himself he's had a few issues in the past, and the last 6 months or so he's been telling us all about this CD that him and his mates have been producing and recording in a studio, and they call the band the Javtastics. When I say band, they're a duo. Paul sings and plays the guitar, and Peter writes the songs as well as Paul. And this one's it's not the title track, but it's the first track on the CD. That's my favourite, and it's so much my favourite that I've decided me and Paul are going to make a little DVD, video about it next week. And this one's called All in My Head.
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all in my head, 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 it's all in my. So alive, it's illegal, looking so fucking regal. I'll probably go to prison for taking this position. Need love and escape, just need some peace in a war-like world. Wanna get the girl, wanna get the girl, wanna get the girl, wanna get the girl, wanna get the girl. Cause it's all in my head, 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 it's all in my. All the shit they put in your head, gonna dream instead. Drive away in my motor car, gonna go fucking far. I think I'm gay, gonna drive far away. Can't be dealing with all the things they say, 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 'cause it's all in my head, 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 all in my. Just need a sweet tune, gonna read the runes, I'll mix the ruins out my mind. Gonna sit on cloud nine, gonna sit on cloud nine, gonna sit on cloud nine. Cause it's slavery, imprisonment, death and destruction. 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 Cause it's all in my head, 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 it's all in my. Oh fucking hell, I'm bogus string.
And you know what? It is all in his head. That's Paul Quick of the Chavtastics. Interesting sound. I know he's worked a lot on it, and it's a bit rough around the edges, but I think it's supposed to be that way. I don't think this is unintentional the way it sounds and the way he sings, and the unconventional tuning of the guitar. But it's I like odd stuff like that. I used to like this guy called Wildman Fisher. Frank Zappa used to produce and manage, and it's got elements of that on it, and it's good. And you know, he's gone through with something. He started with an idea, and him and his mate Peter have actually produced it. So last Friday he came up with a little bag and said, "Steve, I've got a present for you." And it was a Chavtastic CD, and it was also a Chavtastic T-shirt, which I'm going to put on tomorrow. I'm going to sport tomorrow, because it's definitely T-shirt weather, isn't it? We're getting all this outlandish weather at the moment, and it's pretty difficult to deal with it. Yesterday was particularly warm. I was going around seeking somewhere to take shelter from the burning sun. I'm surprised if people haven't got sunstroke at the moment, the way people walk around. But that's for them. I've had sunstroke. It's not very nice. So if you're thinking about doing it without using sunscreen, anything like that, then don't, because you'll just end up feeling really ill for several days, and you miss out on all the sun, and your skin peels off, so you lose all your suntan. So we're moving on now in the Echo. We've got another couple of things to talk about in the Echo, and we're at the What's On page. I like the What's On page because I can tell you what's on, can't I? There's about 3 or 4 productions on the Everyman. I've talked about this before, but I think it's worth mentioning. And they all run till July, so you've still got plenty of time to go. And one is the Everyman at the moment. For the last few years, it's been taken in productions that have been touring the country, or having comedians on, or things like that. In the good old days, the golden era of the Everyman in the 70s and 80s and 90s, it used to have what's called repertory. It used to have their own little group of actors, and those actors used to do all the shows. So one week they'd be doing something, the next week they'd be doing something else. And so famous plays like John George, Ringo and Bert and Breeze Block Park and all them were tried out there in the 70s, and some famous actors like Julie Walters were in that repertory company in the early 70s. So this time they're doing a version of Paint Your Wagon, which you remember was a not very good musical film with Clint Eastwood. And they've got the right voice for doing this, but you remember the famous song, and it was, I was born under a wandering star, a wandering star. Now, if they want me to do a little version of that on stage, I'm up for that. They need to bring me in, and that's on the Everyman until Saturday, July the 14th. So you have to check on them what's on. They're also doing Clockwork Orange, which is one of my favourite books, also one of my favourite films, Stanley Kubrick film from 1971. And it's all about ultra-violence. It's all about Alex. It says here, Alex loves milk, Alex loves Beethoven, but Alex loves violence. So it's I'm not sure how violent it is. I think there's music in it as well, so it's not just people beating each other up and drinking milk with drugs in. That's until July the 12th. There's a version of Othello, which has got a female lead, so that should be quite interesting. That's until the 10th. And there's also one called The Big I Am, which is their version of Peer Gynt. Peer Gynt is a lad with a big dream. He's got his own his town in his pocket, and he's got the whole world at his feet. But so he set it in 1940.